Hey everyone, welcome to the Remission Portal with Paul Mark and Laz. I'm Paul Mark. Our guest today is a professional chef and culinary entrepreneur who moved to Las Vegas with a dream to study culinary arts and build a career in the food world. After 12 years in Vegas, 2 years in Houston, and now 2 years in the DFW area, he is the founder and chef of my favorite crepe shop, Crepeology Café in Arlington, Texas. Welcome, Chef Arturo Urquidi, to the portal.
Welcome.
Yay!
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for coming. So, Arturo, when did you discover your love of cooking?
Well, when I was really young, I guess not that young, when I was 12, 15 years old, I started taking care of my brothers. I'm the older, and taking care of my brothers because my parents worked a lot and I had them, pick them up from school and I had to cook with them and practicing with them and trying different things. And little by little, I started liking cooking. And when the time came and I graduated high school, everybody was asking me, it was like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? I was like, school wasn't for me. I wasn't doing really good at school. And about my parents, my family, my mom was like, hey, you need to do something. You need to go to school. You need to go to college. And I was like, I don't, I don't really like to do anything else than just cooking. And my uncle was like, hey, there's schools for that. You can become a professional chef. It was like well, the ones that you see on TV and all that. And I was like, oh, I thought you didn't need a career for that. And we started doing some research. We found a couple good schools, but I was like, well, if I'm doing this, it needs to be Vegas. And that's where all the good restaurants are. And I did it. I packed all my stuff and put it all in my car and I started driving from El Paso to Vegas. And I started when I was 18. And that's how I
Wow.
stay in Vegas. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
really cool.
So you're a native Texan, and how did Vegas differ from El Paso? Like, what was that like, that transition?
It was really hard because all my family, everybody, and the reason that I did what I did, it's because of my family. And I was living with my family. And I didn't have a single friend, single family member in Vegas, and starting from zero in a city that I never been. It was like as soon as the first step I put in Vegas was the first one. It was like it's was crazy for me. I remember crying a lot every single day, like regretting my decision. But I was already there. Everybody's making an effort and doing everything they can for me to do this. I have to do it. Little by little, I started getting some friends and getting more familiar with the city. El Paso is a small city compared to Vegas. And going to from everything closes at 7 o'clock in El Paso, and here it's never sleeps. It took me like 3, 4 years to get used to. Plus, I was 18. I couldn't drink. I couldn't go anywhere. I couldn't have fun. But it was a good experience. It was really hard in the beginning, but I like it. It was a good journey.
Yeah, I bet that was a huge, like, oh my goodness. Wow. El Paso to Vegas.
And
What restaurants have you worked in? I'm really curious about this one because I used to be a server.
well, I worked for MGM 12 years when I was in
Oh,
college in the culinary arts. At first, I thought it was like, okay, I'm just gonna go there and they're gonna teach me how to cook all different cuisine, French cuisine, Italian, and all that. But I faced the truth when they start teaching me English first, math, history, and I was like, oh my God, this is a real college. It's like because everything happened so fast when I graduated from high school. And my mom at that moment was in the hospital and she was like, okay, you need to do something now. You cannot wait a year. You cannot wait 6 months. College starts soon. You need to make a decision fast. And when I did that, I went there and then I started getting all my classes and I was like, history. algebra and all that. And I was like, man, that was the reason I didn't do anything else. But that was hard. And then, but the good thing is that the program is fast, right? And I finished the whole thing in 2 years. This was 5 hour classes. I had like 2 classes per day. It was like really fast. And when I finished, they help you to get a job. And
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, MGM, Caesar Palace, and Station Casinos, they're the biggest companies in Vegas. Each company has like at least 10 casinos. That institute is well known, and we had a portfolio in MGM recruiting. I started working at New York, a place called Nine Pine Irishman. And then after that, I moved to MGM Grand and worked banquets. And then I opened a restaurant called Money Line inside Betty. And then after that, I went and did some fine dining on the Bed Steakhouse, Monte Carlo. Yeah.
I used to love going to Vegas, and I always stayed at Paris. But it was going to New York was usually the first, other than the Crepe Cafe that was down below Paris, right between Paris and Caesars. I used to love that place. But I would go to New York because I wanted to be on the roller coaster and because it was just so much fun. And we would always go to MGM to see the grandiosity that was there. It's just beautiful. And so I love that you were there, and you were probably there at about the same time that I was going there to visit. We just didn't know each other.
Yeah, probably I cook for you.
Yeah. And I've always been amazed at Vegas has some of the best buffets, and they just have so much stuff. And it is such an eclectic collection of different cuisines and different dishes within those cuisines. It's not just like, okay, you want a little bit of Chinese, here's one dish. It's like there's a whole station, that's like its own miniature restaurant. And
Yeah.
so,
And fine dining, it was like really, really upscale buffet, really good buffets. Just to give you an idea, on Thanksgiving Day, we just passed it. Basic Thanksgiving, we were doing over $100,000 just for a single day. Over $100,000, and to get in was $50. Just you can imagine, we had a line
mhm.
like Black Friday lines. We had
Huh?
the buffet.
So y'all did 100 grand for just
For
That
that, for
day.
just one day, the busiest Thanksgiving day that I did, hundred
Oh my
forty-one
gosh.
thousand dollars. Yeah, yeah.
How do you turn those? I'm thinking about turning the tables over because I know anytime I spent $50 on a buffet, I was gonna make that money back.
LOL. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's true, and people goes to it. I guess it's not about every restaurant is about the profit, right? But every single buffet that you see in a casino, it's more like to bring people in. It's
Yes.
the percentage of the profit. It's not that much. The MJM buffet, the year that I was there, we did bottom line $22 million.
Oh, wow.
Yes, after everything. It was the number three on profits on the whole Vegas.
You did 22 mil?
Profit, bottom line.
Hmm.
Yeah.
22 million profit,
Just in the restaurant.
not gross.
Yeah.
Because most of us usually we're talking about gross. And then we're like, okay, so trying to pad it a little bit.
Yeah.
But you're talking about 22 million at
Yeah, you
the
said
end of
bottom.
the day.
At the end
Yeah.
of the day, yes. Let it
Bottom
Amen.
line.
open 6 in the morning to 11 p.m. It's every single day, never closes, and packed. I'm talking like Vegas 10, 15 years ago, when Vegas was busy, when
Yeah.
we had the best shows and all the famous artists every weekend. It was like, what's good?
Hmm.
All the fights in
Wow.
MGM.
Yeah.
Amazing.
A 5 day boxing fight, it was like crazy, crazy packed every single time. Because at that
Hmm.
time, buffet was the cheapest option in Vegas. It's $45 for an adult and $25 for a kid, and you can eat for hours. You only need one meal.
But for me, Paul Mark was talking about some of the best buffets. I'm like, where has better buffets than Vegas? Because I don't have anything to compare it to, but I know what I saw and I experienced in Vegas was crazy.
It's crazy, crazy. And prepping for it, cooking for it, cleaning after. It's just a big show.
Yeah.
Big show.
So, with all of that going on, what are the most important lessons, or is there more than one that you learned being in those high level kitchens?
It's control the stress. Every day it's very stressful, but being under that pressure, it helps a lot on you day to day. It's like every day you face something different. And one of the craziest thing that nobody believes is when you work in a restaurant, every day is different. Doesn't matter if you have the same menu, doesn't matter if you work with the same people for 10, 15 years, every day is different. You don't know what to expect. And you learn that every day it's going to be stressful in a different way. And you know how to calm yourself and you know how to calm others. And you start trying to help others with your experience. That's what I learned in all this crazy, like be a little understanding of what the difficulties of every single thing.
In my training, I started out in theater, and I've done several things since then, but I was working in theater with psychology. And I realized that one of the things that we learn from theater is every show has an element of it's brand new. Even if you've done the same thing over and over and over again, like clockwork, the audience is going to be different. You know, anything could happen. And I have worked in restaurants, and I do know that at the drop of a pin, things shift. And we could be having a nice smooth day, and then all of a sudden a 12 talk comes in. And now everybody that was swimming nicely, everybody's in the weeds because one table can affect the entire kitchen and the entire wait staff. And to be in a space where Laz and I are now nervous navigation coaches, and to be in that space where we are learning to navigate other people's nervous systems as well as our own. And it's important. I also recently watched Martha Stewart's show where it was a competition for chefs that would lose control or lose their tempers in the kitchen. And I think that that was something that was really great. I mean, that they didn't do a lot to give the people tools. It was more like hold yourself together so if you want to win this thing, you know? It's like, let's see how you work under pressure and see if you can win this thing.
Like the kind of, when you said they didn't give tools, you mean kind of like suppression type?
They didn't, so, and I don't know if that was done off camera,
Yeah.
but it's a reality show, so
Yeah.
there are some things I'm
You
sure
gotta have
that they
some.
had. Yeah, I'm sure they actually had some professionals on set somewhere because
Um,
when you're relying on somebody and you're trying to keep each other together, and everybody has a hothead, and things happen in the midst of a competition, or things happen when just like, why didn't you tell me this was smoking? I was over across the end of the room, and that sort of thing did happen. So I'm sure that they had to have at least one professional somewhere on set, because it was several weeks that they were living together.
yeah.
However, for the person watching, we didn't see all of that. And so all we're seeing is here's a competition, act right if you want to win.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Makes sense. So, Arturo, question.
Yes.
What's your favorite type of cuisine to prepare and eat? Are they the same?
No, Italian. I really like Italian food.
Both. So it is the same.
For what? No, just Italian. I love Italian food. Yeah, it's my type of cuisine.
Got
But
you
I
there.
actually I like doing that like for me. It's something that I'm passionate about, and that's something that I can still do for hours and enjoy it. And I didn't want to open an Italian restaurant just because of that, because that's
Yeah,
something.
because if
Yeah,
you enjoy it, you don't want it to be your work.
exactly. I
Are you
well,
making fresh pasta?
I know how to make fresh pasta. Yeah.
Walmart. Oh,
Man,
that's funny.
I know how to make pasta, any type of pasta, raviolis,
Mm.
cannellonis, name it, we got it.
First white
And someday,
tablecloth restaurant.
yeah, well, someday, one of the reasons that we opened a restaurant like this and kept the concept a little, not simple, but
Mhm.
easy for me to execute on a day-to-day and teach somebody else is because I wanted to do some cooking classes and have some workshops
Oh
in the
yeah.
in the future. And I want to teach people how to make bread, pasta, and things like that. Eh, I enjoy
Okay,
doing that.
speaking of making bread, and this is just a sidetrack there. Your French toast is amazing.
I bet.
Thank
Dang.
you. Thank you.
And you make the bread for it.
Yes.
Oh, snap.
Yeah. So it's like it is good from beginning to end. It's a
Thank you.
thick cut of this homemade uh of this
I can
homemade
imagine right now.
bread. It's
Thank you.
oh my
Thank you.
gosh.
And I almost didn't make it, when I was putting together the menu. It was so funny because when we opened the restaurant, when that concept was there, because I opened a restaurant like this. It was called 48 and Crate in Vegas, in New York. And we want to do the same thing here. But when we started looking for places, everything was so expensive. The rent was so expensive. And we didn't want to put all the savings and risk into the food and beverage business because I know that it's really hard. And I know it's not profitable like everything else, like real estate and all those things that we all know that you can make more money than actually having a restaurant. But the family was pushing. The family believes in me, and they're like, "Hey, do it for us, do it for you. You don't want to do it, but we got you back. Do it." And then it's like, okay, let's see what happens. And we try to keep this restaurant in Keller, like one of those places they have kind of like this same, not crowd in Vegas, but like French cuisine. We
Right.
let's go to places they already have French restaurants, right? They
Mhm.
already did the research for us. And when we did that and we find out that we couldn't get the restaurant in Keller or in Hazlitt and one of those places, we decided to put it here in Arlington. And when I made the menu, it was just crepes and waffles. That's it. That's all it was. And one day, sitting at my favorite restaurant, talking to my bartender, she was like, "Hey, when the restaurant is gonna open?" And I was like, "Oh, it's gonna open pretty soon, pretty 3 4 months." And she asked me for the name. I was like, "Oh, it's gonna be Crepeology, and this is what we're gonna have: crepes and waffles." And she's like, "Great, what's a crepe?" Okay, well, it's gonna take some time. And then I explained the crepes, and she's like, "Waffle, Waffle House is. I always go to Waffle
No, it is
House,
not.
No,
but
Waffle
no,
House is
but
not better.
no.
she was like, but you know what? You know, I always try to get a good French toast, and I'm like,
Mhm.
French toast makes sense. French.
Mhm.
I know how to make what? I know how to make my own bread. I know what to do. You know what? I don't know why I never thought about French toast. So like today, I'm adding French toast to the menu.
Mhm.
And that day, that's when the French toast got into the menu. And And people are liking it. People are liking it. Now we're gonna have croissants and cinnamon rolls.
Cinnamon rolls.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a new development. I wasn't aware of the cinnamon rolls, but okay, let's do that. Right. And actually, I'm so glad that you're in Arlington because when I found out that you're literally down the street from me, I'm like, this is perfect. Because I had to drive to the other side of the highway. You're like, I could walk there. And actually, I probably should.
Ah,
Get my steps in so I can eat more.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
real.
And so I was thinking about it, when we were there, because I come to hang out with you sometimes in the afternoon. And that time that you made French toast out of a croissant, and that was so, so tasty. That was like, it was just, mwah. And I will say, those of you that like whipped cream and are going to the Bucks and getting all these spray things on your drinks or whatever, Arturo has the best whipped cream that I have had anywhere else.
Yo,
Thank you,
that's a
thank you.
hell of a compliment.
Yeah.
Who don't like whipped cream? I ain't never met a mother. I met people who don't like a lot of stuff, but whipped cream,
What's interesting is
unless they
that
got a dairy allergy or something.
They still like it.
if I was lactose intolerant, I would throw it all to the wind for that whipped cream. I could literally eat a bowl of that.
Wait, you do have waffles though, still, but
Yes.
Yes.
okay. I was about to say Waffle House is fight night, but Crepeology definitely doesn't sound like fight night. And there's a place here in Round Rock called Waffle Love, and they Sunday weekends, especially breakfast. The place is packed, and the concept is waffles,
Yeah.
all kinds of really dope waffles. So yeah,
Then pretty soon that's gonna be us. That concept is great, but we have
I was
a
thinking
lot of good stuff.
Crepeology. I know would kill it here. Would
Yeah.
kill it in Temple and Belton area.
Mhm.
People would eat it up.
But we knew that. A little bit of
Mhm.
education.
It's a little bit of education and encouraging people to lean in. And I love that your social media, people are talking about you, and that it's getting people to be curious about it.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing. And like I told you, I'll say it here publicly. You've got everything for the brunch crowd. And you don't necessarily need all the others because you've got those people who are ready for brunch. And that's a whole entire market right there. And if you're doing brunch, because a lot of places will do brunch, but it's on Saturday and Sunday. You offer brunch all throughout the week.
Oh yeah, that's a foodie influencer stock place. Hey, go here. Fly from
Yeah.
Alabama to go to Arlington.
Little by little, like we noticed, what was it, this Sunday when the Cowboys played in town, we started getting
Mhm.
people from Philly. Like
See?
they search for brunch places, and we got some crowd for brunch.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
And they're gonna tell their friends.
I know.
They're gonna tell their Billy
Yeah.
Driver friends.
You're going to become a tourist destination spot. I know it. It's going to happen.
Right now. Yeah.
Like I'm telling all my friends.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So, what's the story behind you told me about your how you got started and the whole concept in having this store and the family story behind it. Do you want to go into that?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the whole chef culinary career started because of my mom. My mom, when I was 15, 16, she got cancer, brain cancer. And that was really hard for everybody, especially for my brothers. Being the oldest, it's not that you have to be the toughest. It just you take it different, especially at that time when you're a teen, you don't know what to do or how to react. But everything started there. My mom got surgery and she got better. She lived many years, and we thought she was leaving that behind. But at that time, when my mom passed away, I was in a relationship with my wife, and we actually got married that year, when the year that she passed away. So it was hard, it's just like you doing this for her, and now she's fine. But luckily for me, I have my wife and somebody else that I need to fight for. And I did, and she helped me a lot. Pretty sure everybody knows what, I don't know, the feeling of losing somebody. When you lose your mom, you lose, I don't know, you almost lose everything. But my wife was behind me and supporting me, and I made it. It was hard, but it was I did. And then keep going, everything good, still in Vegas. And then when the pandemic happens, when the COVID happened, I started losing more family members. And when you get in trouble and you start thinking, I was like, oh my God, how many more people I need to lose to go back home and be close to it? And that's when I talked to my wife and I was like, I know you haven't been anywhere besides Vegas and Utah. It's like, let's go to Texas and see, what do you think? Hopefully you like it. If you like it, if you she loved my family loved her. If you like it, let's move to Texas. And as soon as they opened the airports and all that, we went to Houston, the Woodlands. The Woodlands is kind of like 45 minutes from Houston. And she loved it. She loved the green, being in the desert, living in the desert for 20 years. When you start seeing like rain, green lakes and all that instead of mountains and desert, she loved it. And I was like, okay, do you want to do it? Yes. We went back home. We put the house for sale and sold it in a month. And in a month, we pack over stuff and moved back close to the family. We actually got a house right next to my family, and it was really nice spending Christmas with the whole family. Usually it was just my wife and I and my dad. My dad always was there for Christmas. Always traveled for Christmas. And yeah, we tried it. I did a lot of consulting. I worked in a couple of restaurants in the Woodlands. But my family started moving to Dallas. They already had the plan to move to Dallas. And we thought for a second, I was like, you know what? Dallas is closer than Vegas to Houston. We can travel. We can go, I don't know, for holidays, and we can still do whatever we're doing. But my wife is like, hey, you want to be close to your family? Let's go. We got no kids. We can put the house for sale again, and then we can buy another house and start over again. I'm just like, you want to do it? Let's do it. And we did it. We did it. We moved here. We live forward, and the family lives close too. Every holiday, my dad was with us. Every single holiday. Every single holiday. And last Christmas, he was here, and my brother was here, and it was any Christmas all together, everybody. And my dad was trying to invest some money, and he was like, "Hey, I want to invest on you." It's like, wait, let's stop investing in somebody else. Let's stop investing on properties and stuff. It's like, I want you to do something that you like. Like, I like cooking, but I definitely don't want to open a restaurant. And my brother was like, hey, you've been doing this for a long time and you've been proving that you can make a restaurant successful. You've been making everybody rich, and why you don't get rich with your own restaurant, your own content? let's create a concept that we can franchise, that we can have multiple all over Texas. And I was like, I know I can do it, but I don't want to do it. It's a lot of work. And sometimes when you're comfortable where you are, you like, no, thank you, I appreciate it. I know you say free money, a lot of work, but no, let's not go there. And my dad was like, hey, you know what? Your wife said the concept that you guys open in Vegas would do really good. And she keeps saying that she believes in you. I believe in you. We believe in you. You're the only one who doesn't believe in yourself. What about
Ooh.
let's visit every single great place in Texas. And we
Yes.
did, and we travel around and we went to so many great places. They had the same concept. The end of the week, my brother, my dad, my wife looked at me and was like, can we do it better? I was like, yeah, of course. It was like, okay, they have so many locations. They're doing good. What about you? You know what? Let's do it. We started looking for places. He was helping us, researching, doing all this. We started knocking on doors, calling realtors, and we do it as a family all together. It was like, okay, well, let's go. When we finally got this place, my dad calls and was like, hey, when are you gonna be open? I said, well, we need to paint, we need to do a couple remodeling. And he asked me, was like, hey, you know what? I have a couple friends. I've had a couple guys they want to help with the project. I can send it over. They're from El Paso to here, and they can help. I have painters. I have a lot of people, very handy people. And he sent me four friends to help me with the project. And it was me, the family, and the friends that he sent. When we painting, knocking on doors, it was like we remodeling the place, hoping to finish in a week and open in a month. And that was that. 2 days later, when we are in the middle of painting, and we were working all day, like 8 in the morning to midnight, 1 a.m. Everybody working really hard to make it happen. And around 11:30, when we packing and we getting everything ready in the car to go to sleep, we got a phone call that my dad had a motorcycle accident and he died.
Mhm.
I hang up. I walk into the restaurant and was everybody there? And I was like, okay, guys, let's grab all your things. We're coming back. My dad just passed away. And we're canceling this. We're not doing this anymore. And everybody was shocked and nobody could believe it because they were his friends. And everybody started crying. And I was like, okay, when you're done crying, I'll meet you at the car. We need to go home. And everybody concerned for me. They didn't want to let me drive. I was like, look, we need to go home. We need to sleep. At that moment, the only thing that was in my head was like, I want to see my wife. I want to be with my wife. She didn't know. She was asleep. My family started calling. I didn't want to answer. If they're calling at midnight, that means they know. Everybody knows.
Mhm.
I drive 45 minutes and that kind of helped. As soon as I got home, my family was already there waiting for me. I was like, give me a second. I just need to wake up my wife. And I went to the house and got into the room and man, that was hard. That was hard. Remembering that those 5 seconds, that was really hard. When I told my wife what happened, it was really hard. But I don't know, somehow we woke up and when I woke up, everybody was ready. And there's still like because all the friends were staying with me at the house. Everybody was ready to keep working. And I said, hey, nope, you're not doing this. And they're like, well, we doing it with or without you. But this was the last your dad's last wish, and we do it. We putting it together. We told you that they will take care of you. We're doing it with or without you. Are you with us or now? And well, when they put it
Oh,
like that, like my dad's last wishes, I was like, okay, I guess we
Well,
do it.
thank God for them.
Yeah,
Thank God
wow.
for them
Like,
holding you through it.
yeah.
what a squad. Like,
Here
wow.
we are. We didn't open a month later, of course.
Mhm.
Didn't pause for 2, 3 months. Because at the end of the day, even when the project was still happening and it was like, okay, we're still doing this, it was really hard for me to find, what do you need to get up and do. But at the end of the day, this place has been helping me a lot. It's been keeping me busy. Like I was putting together the Christmas playlist for Crepeology and
Yay!
listening to all the songs, and I was like, hey, it's gonna be Christmas in a couple of weeks. And then listening to more Christmas music, and I was like, huh, that was the last time I got. It didn't click until today. That was hard. That was hard. We're here.
Well, I understand losing a parent. It's rough, especially when your parent is your supporter, your cheerleader, best friend. And I think that continuing is the best way to honor your father, to because he was supporting your dream and you're continuing on, and he's supporting you from the other side now.
Yeah. Yes, that's true. That's why we're doing it. That's
Mhm.
why now it's just me and my brother, and he's been supporting me too. He believes, and it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen sooner or later. But this,
It's already happening.
well, it's gonna happen. Yeah. But
I'm
where we want it, it's happening. You'll see.
my mind earlier. You were talking, and my whole Paul Mark, my whole sacral lit up. Like, man, money. How can we? How can I invest in Arturo? For real. It's like, this ain't gonna be big.
You
Exactly.
you will see when I open a Crepeology where you leave. You will see.
We go to a place called Jupiter's Ice Cream. That is, it takes about 5 to 7 minutes to get there. Just driving through the neighborhood though, and more like 5 minutes. And we go. My daughter loves it for ice cream. They have boba tea, but they have pastry. They have crepes. I don't know anywhere else around here. I mean, I haven't searched for crepes, but they have crepes there, right? And I know the people in the kitchen aren't chefs.
We try really hard over here to do some crazy stuff. Sometimes too crazy, yeah. So
Are we going
sometimes,
there now? Are we going
yeah.
to talk about that?
Sometimes they want something more simple, more traditional, right? But at the end of the day, I'm a chef and I like to create new stuff. Sometimes it's good to stay with the basics, to
Yeah,
keep the traditional food, traditional items. And sometimes we need to try something different. Like my wife was telling me, it was like mango for December. Are you kidding me? And I was like, why not? He was like, well, I was expecting a little more traditional. I was like, hey, I'll make something traditional, but why not?
I'm bringing the equator up here.
I'm still waiting for my peppermint mocha for December.
Expanding that food logic ceiling out here.
That's exactly what it is because people here only know what they know. I grew up in this neighborhood and I know what the neighborhood used to be, and I also know what it has become. And I know that it's time because things go on a wave. It's time for that uptick.
Mm.
And so it makes sense that where you are, there are so many different cuisines in that same center. Why not lean all the way into the French and be that? And yeah, you can have things that aren't necessarily branded on the menu because he has table cards on the table. So you can get it's like the secret menu. And so you can order different things. But I'm like, just lean into all the French things. And those people that don't really understand, give them the opportunity to get a little extra culture. Because what we see, and we had this conversation, a lot of people, their idea of a crepe is those hard, crunchy things that you get at the fair or at the mall. And it's
That
like,
ain't
no, that's
not,
not what a crepe is.
that's not a crepe at all.
Yeah. I was like, a crunchy crepe is a burnt crepe.
Yeah,
What
that's
you
true.
looking for? Cannoli?
Yeah, exactly. And so I want the delicacy and I want to have a place that I can trust to go in and know that it's going to be a good, delicate, sometimes traditional, sometimes, more exotic. And I will say, when I went there, I went thinking I was going to try the peach cobbler crepe. And you told me about the apple pie crepe. And I was like, no, no, I'm going to do the peach cobbler. And then I came back and I did the apple pie. And what do I always get no matter what I order?
Apple,
Yeah.
cinnamon apple.
Like, I'm sold already. Apple
Yeah.
pie and French toast.
hmm Those cinnamon apples are the best. Just the best.
Mm.
I'm craving some now. I will see you this afternoon.
My wife's like, after we get done, I'm heading out the door.
Yeah, over here you can see our Christmas decorations. We're
Yeah.
still working on it, but yeah, we should be
Okay.
done by this
So,
weekend.
Okay.
so Arturo, how does your family feel about the business now?
My family has other businesses, and they know how hard is the food and beverage. They try to open restaurants, and they had to change because it was hard. But one thing that they didn't have was me. Somebody who knows the back and the front of a restaurant, name it. I've been doing this since I was 18. I know what works, and what works is gonna work forever. And what doesn't work doesn't mean it's not gonna work. You just have to be patient. But if after waiting a little bit doesn't work, don't stay with it. You change, talk to people, and see what they want, what they want to see. And at the end of the day, you hear because of them, right? And it's not that you want to please everybody, but if you talk to 10 people and they want to see 9 out of 10, they want to see specific crepe, that crepe needs to be in the menu. Right? And if people are telling you, hey, something is wrong with your plate or with your servers or with your service, based on your experience if it's just one point of view or it needs to be changed. And those changes, they need to happen quick because in this industry, if you don't make those changes quick, you will lose a lot of time, a lot of customers. And we've been in business for 3 months, and I think I changed the menu 3 times already. Uh, but it's just fixing my mistakes, right? Because I have a menu from Vegas and a menu from the family I put together before knowing Arlene, before knowing the DFW, because I've been here for almost 2 years. But when I understood that, I realized I was like, hey, I made a mistake. I need to change it quick because I know this mistake is not going to get any better. It's going to get worse. I made the change and we start seeing the change. We start seeing the results. It's like, okay, that was a good change. And then I noticed a couple other mistakes that I did in the beginning, and right away make those changes. Don't be afraid to make changes. Of course, you have to believe in everything that you do, but I knew that I don't have all the answers. That's why I need you guys, I need customers to tell me what I'm doing wrong. See something, it's not tasting right, tell the server in any restaurant. Hopefully they listen and they make those changes because they want to see you again. They depend on your business. They depend on you coming back. Like if you try it for the first time and you didn't like it, or you didn't like the food, the atmosphere, the drinks, or whatever, just say something. I guarantee you they're gonna do whatever they can to make sure that you have a good experience and that you come back. And especially in this business, being a small restaurant, you need to say something. If you want to help the locals, if you want to support people like me, help them to get better. Yeah.
And be constructive too.
Yeah.
Don't just say, I don't like it.
I'm curious about
Yeah.
something about what you were saying about the mistakes and wrong is because listening to you and having worked in restaurants, in high-end restaurants, knowing how chefs think like you, is it my question is really that you're doing something wrong, or is it more like me living in the house in the neighborhood I live in and putting a finish out in this house like I live on the lake in West Austin?
Yeah.
That's just not, somebody's going to come in this house and see, waterfall, marble, freaking island and be like, that doesn't go here. I'm not paying for that in this neighborhood.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if
That's what it
your
is.
experience is with Crepeology going to where you're at, or yeah.
It's not that I made a mistake because I know that what I did and what I put on the table was good. You need to know who your customers.
Exactly.
Arlington and
Yeah.
Forward, they're completely different.
Oh,
Uh,
completely different.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're
Completely
completely
different.
different.
Totally different.
And they're
Yeah.
5 minutes, 15 minutes away. And I
Mhm.
work
Yep.
since I'm here. I've just been working in Forward. And I was like, okay, I see what they like. I talked to people and I was like, I think this is the right direction. In
Mhm.
Vegas, I know you see people from all over the world, but when you have so many options and you have so many restaurants and they're all right next to each other, when somebody goes to your restaurant, it's because they want to eat your food and they already know what you have. They already know what they're gonna get. They already committed and they're gonna like it because there's so many options. But here, yes, there's a lot of options, but when they try something new, especially like a brand new place, they don't know what to expect. And sometimes they expect to see a crepe like he said, a crepe on a cone. They're very crunchy with different flavors and things like that. When they saw I have bacon and egg crepe, and I was like, what do
Mhm.
you mean? It was like the crepe is supposed to be sweet. Okay,
Yeah,
not
man.
here. I was like,
Right.
no, I'm not gonna do it. And I was like, just try it.
Mhm.
Don't say that you don't like before you try it. Give it a shot. And it's like, I don't like it. It was like, please,
I
just
think
try it.
I think it was my mom or somebody I was with eating calamari, and then they found out what it was, and they were tearing it up. Then they found out what it was. It was like, I'm not eating this.
Well,
Yeah.
what I see is, and this is coming from a family that travels and all the other stuff. My nieces were in France and even looking for McDonald's.
It's not gonna be the same.
And it's not going to be the same, but why would you go to something that is from home that you're used to when you have all of this new stuff that you could try? And they have that down home Southern mentality of, I'm only going to do what I know. And I was like, there's so much more out there. And it's been said that I'm the bougie uncle because I want to go and experience other things. And it's like, yes, I want to experience, I want to go to Italy and experience real Italian food in Italy. You know, I've traveled all over. The first thing I do is look at what are the locals eating? Like, what is this location known for? I've tried many things. Some of them I really liked, and some of them I was like, I'll never eat that again. But it's one of those things. If you want buffalo wings from Buffalo, New York. So if I'm ever in Buffalo, New York, I'm going to try and find the place that started it.
Oh,
And so,
I
yeah.
didn't know that.
And like the first time I went to Philadelphia, I'm like, okay, where am I going to get a good Philly cheesesteak? you know, just to see that. I also want to encourage more people to have that kind of mentality. You can do new things to meet people with the trendy. And it's also, let's remember where this came from. Let's have that education aspect of it.
And one of the things some people are like, hey, a Mexican doing French, like, hey, I'm a professional chef. I'm cooking for 16 years. Believe me, I work with French chefs and my recipes are tested in thousands
Hmm.
of people and we've been improving. It's
One of
just
the best chefs
if
I've ever met is Mexican. Like I worked with him, Adam Gonzalez, first, and that was my first white tablecloth restaurant, which was an Italian restaurant in Temple, Texas, Big Nettie's, and bruh, like,
Yeah.
dude, we used to go to the deer lease of my boy Sammy's, and he would come with us. He was one of our homies who came with us to the deer lease, and we were like, we got chef for the weekend, cooking on the grill,
Hmm.
making us smothered pork chops with shrimp and great.
yeah,
Well,
we
it's
don't have to,
good. And go
sorry,
ahead.
we don't have to be French to be professionals
Nope.
on French cuisine. We don't have to be Italians to be masters on Italian food.
It's about the
You
appreciation.
first
That
you
part.
need to respect and appreciate the culture to be opening a restaurant. If I don't
Hmm.
believe in what I do, it's like, all right, let's open a taco shop with tacos because I know what we have is good. It doesn't matter if who is behind is Mexican or whatever. Try it, try different food, try different local restaurants. Don't stop going to McDonald's and all that, but just give those locals a chance.
Well, I'm not going to McDonald's, but not looking for crepes.
I
But
crave a basket of fries every once in a while just because of that old school, like, I want to get that nostalgia of McDonald's fries taste from childhood. That's about it.
every now and again, I have a craving for an egg McMuffin. And that is a thing that I will do every now and again. But I haven't had that craving in like over a year. So, but one of the things that, and Arturo, you and I talked about this, was my family is from Chicago. So my introduction to different cuisines is when you walk into a Chinese restaurant, it's like grandma is in there cooking. But my mom was always like, let's go to the mom and pop places. And so we're going to the family restaurants and we're seeing actual family there. It threw me for a loop when I went to a Chinese food restaurant here and there were Mexicans in the kitchen. And I was like, is this going to be good? And I don't feel the same way now. But there was a time where I was like, if you want Mexican food, you go to the Mexican places. If you want Chinese food, you go to the Chinese places. And it's like I'm used to being the only dark face in the crowd. It's like I want to feel like I'm going into somebody else's world to eat that cuisine. And I also know that we've melted together. We have done a lot of eclectic tastes and we've had a lot of eclectic experiences. And there are people who have lived abroad and then come back and brought what they found and they enjoyed to the people at home. And so there is a broad spectrum as to who's cooking what and who's the best cook of what.
Mhm.
It's true,
Yeah.
but just give it a shot, not just because you come in and you see a Mexican, a waiter, or a Chinese cooked on a French restaurant means that it's gonna be a Chinese Mexican fusion.
Right,
Just
exactly.
give it a shot, give it a shot.
And with that said, I'm thinking about the cafe itself that I do plan on going to today. It's so inviting and it's so cozy. And you take that all the way through to the restrooms as well. So, who decided that that was going to be the design of the store?
My wife have this vision. She has this natural talent. Every time I open my mouth, she always say the same thing. Just trust the process. Because
Yeah.
I see her picking up random stuff from the store, this and this, and I was like, "What are you gonna put this?" I don't know. And then when you see the final product, you're like, "How?" When you see how she does things, and it's like, in your head, how do you see it? I was like, "What is the picture?" When she sent me to the store to get paint, and it's like, "Okay, I want these colors." She gave me like 6 different colors. It's like, what are we gonna put all these colors? So it's like, just
Trust
trust
the
the
process.
process. And I'm like, okay, when we paint the whole restaurant blue, I was like,
Hmm.
oh my God, what is this? This is not gonna match my food. I'm gonna have to work extra hard to match this because
But
nobody's
your
gonna
food
come.
stands out
But I
against
was
that
like,
palette. Yeah.
but it was so weird because I didn't trust the process.
Hmm.
But when you see the pictures of the restaurant, the
Hmm.
before and after, and what she did, I was like, you cannot believe it. You think that we pay a ton of money for decorations and for interior designers, but no, it was just one person who had a vision, and boom, it's like, wow, this is incredible.
So, for those of you who haven't been to the restaurant, it's very much like if you watch Friends, it feels like Monica's apartment because there's a little bit of shabby chic, bold color choices, and comfy furniture. It's a mixture of Central Perk and Monica's apartment. I love all of that. It felt like home walking in.
That
And
that's
it,
what we
it
were looking for.
you have games and you encourage people to stay, play games, and to just great. Your water is so filtered and so good. It is like the best water. I will go there if I know I need to get hydrated. I will go there just to drink the water.
It's funny, but I took care of that because every time you go to a good restaurant and they have a bad water, one of those cloudy water, man, and that all the sodas are mixed with the same thing. And
Hmm.
it's like, okay,
Mm-mm.
it's that gives you, okay, if you have your food, it's a 10. If you're drinking water, that's gonna bring the score a little bit,
Yeah,
like you need to focus in those little details. The not everybody wants to see. It's like, hey, who wants to spend $500 on a water filter
right.
when you can spend $500 doing something else? I was like, hey, everything counts. All the recipes need water. Everything needs
Hmm.
water. You coffee, it was like, we are a coffee shop. We need the best water. That's why Starbucks is so good because
Yeah.
they have like a crazy filtration system. Not
Hmm.
the coffee burn coffee, but the water makes it a little more drinkable.
Cloudy water with water stains on the glasses.
Hmm.
We everybody's seen it. Sometimes we're not perfect, we make mistakes like that, but when you
Yeah.
open in a restaurant from zero, you need to focus on those little details.
Yes.
Every single detail counts.
Yep. So how did you land on the name Crepeology Cafe?
That was hard. We had a lot of fights because everybody wants a different name. There's three. It's my brother, my wife, and I. And after a lot of fights, we decide everybody picks their five, and we're gonna vote. And Crepeology was my idea, by the way. You guys gonna be listening to this, and
Yeah.
it's just like clever, fun, and interesting. If you don't know
Mhm.
what a crepe is, just the name is kind of like, okay, that's why we had to add the cafe to it. They need to know it's a restaurant.
Yeah.
They need to know that we will have coffee, and you don't know what
Because,
the concept is. You need to research what
right.
is that.
Study of crepes.
That's what I said.
Crepeology, the
I'm like,
study of crepes. Love it.
but
So I will
yeah,
ask
it took
you,
took us a long time.
I will ask you, what is the thing that you are most excited to make on the menu?
You know what? Every time I make something new, something different, I get excited.
Okay.
I've been making crepes for a long time, and I'm not saying that that doesn't get me excited anymore, but creating new crepes that gets me excited. Like this one, it's like mango. It's not gonna be for everybody. It's different, but that's what I like. Sometimes be a little bit crazy, a little bit different. You don't have to follow a recipe book. It's like the
So
peppermint, yes, but
tell me about this mango crepe. You
it's
mentioned
just
it twice.
it, it
What is
it's
it?
it's because I was at the store and
Uh-huh.
I was buying the peppermint and everything to put together the crepe that we talked and the drinks.
Yeah.
And when I was grabbing the stuff, it just didn't feel like. I was like, okay, I know it's the season of crepe. I know people will ha eat it, but it was
Mhm.
exciting for me to walk into the store and I saw mango and I was like, hey, let me try it. Let me try some mango and see how it tastes. And so like, oh my God, and all the notes and the freshness, and I was like, and then I put a little bit of cinnamon just to make it Christmassy, and I love it. And that's what I like. It's not about the mango crepe, it's about what I can do when I want to do it. I want people to feel the same way. And I was like, okay, I know you might not like it, but I want you to know that I will try crazy stuff like that. But I also listen to you and I will have what you want. But when you feel that you need something different, you can come here and you
Uh,
have something different.
Definitely. I am definitely curious about this mango thing. Is it fresh mango? Is it mango puree?
The thing that I liked the most was the sauce. Because I use fresh
Mhm.
mango and I put a little bit of lemon.
Lemon.
And the French cuisine, you need to have some lemon present. And
Mhm.
what I like is I feel like I balance those two flavors so good for that sauce that I was so happy. I was
Mhm.
like, I'm gonna put this sauce in. But those are the crazy things that a chef does once in a while. That's why we keep the little menus because I also want to have those things that I can change based on my mood or based on, like, okay, at the end of the day, it's still my restaurant, the concept is there and what
Mhm.
all the people favorite, they will be there. But I want to be me when I'm by myself, trying some different techniques and different stuff. I want to feel that again.
Yes. Excellent. And I will be there to try the mango crepe.
What's a belief that you have that makes you get out of bed and into the kitchen, bro?
Right now, well, it's been for many years. My wife is everything, and everything that I do, and every single step, it's for my wife. I want to make sure that she has what she needs and deserves. She's been with me the hardest days of my life, and I know my family's been with me the hardest days of my life, but she's the only one who saw me my worst, and just because of her, I do this every day, and I'll be doing it every single day. There's no time for me to stay in bed. There's no time for me to grieve, to cry, missing who's not here anymore. She's here, and everything that I do is because of her. And when she's gone, I'm gone too. But it's just she gives me what I need. She's my motor, my gas, my everything.
Hurt.
So, a lot of designers, when they have a collection, they're telling a story. What story would you like to tell with your food?
Wow. I don't know.
Just speak from the
It,
heart.
it's all about family, right? It's all about what we've been doing for the last 4 or 5 years, trying to be close to the family. When we opened the restaurant, we didn't know how close the family is and how all the support that I will get from my family. And now everything that I do is thinking of them. And when I try something different, I always try to text them, call them. I was like, hey, what do you think if we do this? What do you think if I do that? What do you want to see? And I always try to get their feedback because I guess that's all I want. My stories get people together, get my family together, get everybody together. I know how important it is when you feel safe on a place and you have good food and you surrounded by good people, eh, your day gets better. Everything starts and ends with food, I guess, for me. And that's what I try to say. But try to bring people together through food.
That is brilliant. That's beautiful.
So for you, what does success look like?
I don't know. I'm not looking for it. I guess people knows what they need to do to be successful. But every day it's a success, you know. As long as you do what you love, surrounded by the people that you love, you you are a successful person. You do it. I'm doing it. I'm happy.
Mm.
You know,
Right.
I'm not like the one that's saying, okay, if I open 20 restaurants, I'm gonna be successful now.
Do you have plans to expand?
Oh yeah, of course. Yes, we hopefully we can open the second next year. We're
Okay.
already talking about it. The concept it's going well, and
Okay.
people are liking it, and they want to see it in different parts of the DFW. Like you said, now that we tried this menu, and now that we know what the Texans like, we can open a second location in a place that we know is going to do really good.
You hit on an important thing that, at least in my experience and things that I've learned working with other people, that a lot of people just don't get to it in their lifetime, is knowing, hey, I'm successful now. Feeling successful now is going to bring you more success in the future. A lot of people are trying to get to this future state of, oh, I want to be successful when this thing happens, instead of feeling it now, which makes it easier.
Imagine you saying, okay, like I told you, if I open 20 stores, I'm gonna be successful. If I open 20 stores, now what? You know, that means I'm successful in the trade. It's not that you setting the bar low. You just have to do what you believe. You just have to do what you feel happy doing. The rest will come.
Heard that. What's coming up next for you?
Coming up next. I'm gonna try to work less. We are trying to start the catering. That's why Crepeology exists. Was supposed to be a catering business, but now it's just gonna be Crepeology plus catering. We finally got enough people to be able to get to do that, and then after that, the second location, hopefully next year. But so far, that's all we have working.
Mobile crepes. I love it.
Yeah, that's easy, you know,
Yay.
and that's why we're making crepes. You know, it's easy to
Yeah.
make and hibachi, but French.
I can
Well,
see this. Go ahead, Paul Mark.
and I was gonna say there were trends of doing an omelet station, like, at weddings or whatever, or at parties. And so crepes fall into that. And if you can just, take and do a crepe bar at whatever holiday, like this is the perfect time for it, different holiday events that companies are having. That would be excellent. And to go and have a crepe station. I would definitely do that. If I were still doing weddings, I would want a crepe station. I would throw you a whole lot of business.
You can do a lot. It's around catering. It's big right now.
Mhm.
When you realize that you can have a break for breakfast with bacon and egg, or sausage and
Mhm.
egg, and you will be surprised how tasty it is. That's when you're like, okay, you only need a crepe, and you can make it sweet, you can make it savory, you can do some fancy stuff, and you can cook on the crepe maker, you can do eggs, you can do whatever. You don't have to move a lot of equipment. You need just one guy to cook for hundreds of people, and it's a good business.
Yeah. For some reason, baby showers for the affluent is coming up.
Oh yeah, of course. Crepes and mimosas.
Baby shower with you, girl.
Yeah, when you see the place, the first thing that is gonna pop in, like a baby shower will be really nice in this place.
Baby
It's super
showers,
nice.
birthdays. It's really a great place. It is
We already
fantastic.
booked a couple of graduations. We're gonna have,
Graduation parties.
yeah,
Mhm.
it's a nice place. It's we like being a chef, and I have I can do more than crepes, you know. We have a big menu for catering, and we do it all.
My daughter would love that.
So, when people are having graduation or birthday parties, are you going to start making crepe cakes?
We
A
started,
great
man, but didn't sell.
what? A
I know,
great day.
because I got so many crazy dreams and hopes, and I was like, okay, and this is gonna be so popular and trending. And I started making my cakes, and they're so cool, so nice. And I was like, a cake, a crepe cake. And I was like,
Is it
huh?
great?
And
A
I was
crepe.
like, okay,
So,
I guess we're not there yet, Texas.
I will say there is another place that is also has parents Paris in their name here. That's a franchise. They do one rainbow crepe cake, and I've tried it. It's not good. Their whipped cream is not as good as yours. And
Mark
so
Jason. It's not good.
it, we I don't want to say it here on the podcast, but you and I have talked about that place.
Yeah,
Not trying to
but
throw anybody under the bus.
Right.
yeah, well, it's been longer in the market. That's why they can sell that. But as soon as you try my crepes and my ingredients, you'll see that I can do a really nice cake.
Hmm.
And that was the whole thing, like it started by making breads, croissants, everything from scratch and cakes. But
Okay, you
one
have
day,
until
one day.
May. You have until the end of May. My birthday isn't until the end of May, but the
What day?
31st.
Oh,
That's my dad's birthday. That's crazy.
you're
What
not
the?
gonna forget that now.
We
Nah, I ain't never. I feel like maybe Paul Mark told me that, but
Mhm.
that's my dad's birthday.
I was born on my uncle's birthday.
Wow.
It's really it's a fantastic thing. Actually, in my family, my mother is May 26th. My favorite aunt is May 27th. My great grandfather was May 30th, and my uncle and me are May 31st. And then my biological father is June 11th. So everything happened there.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's cool.
So and evidently this family has a breeding season. And
Oh,
And do the math, and when they do it.
yeah, you can figure it out.
That's funny.
If you could give our audience permission to do anything in the world, what would it be?
The hardest thing to be happy every single day. If you can wake up happy, go to bed happy, that will be best thing that everybody can have.
Mm.
That's that. When you're happy, you do things better, you react better, you think better, everything is just better when you're happy.
Thank you for showing up. And like I said, I will see you in a little bit.
I'll be here.
I'll be over there toot sweet. I won't even change. I'm leaving as soon as this is over and coming right over there. So thank you for joining us here in the portal. And thank you, our listeners, for joining us. Please like and follow so that you can find out when we have new content. Check out our links in the description. My links can be found at bypaulmark, bypaulmarq.com. And Laz can be found at
creatorschool.com, and that is school with a K, not a CH, and the Lazarus Effect.com, effect with an A, not an E.
share this with a friend, especially if you enjoyed it. Reach out to us if you have questions or topics you want us to discuss. Our email is thepermissionportal@gmail.com. So thank you for joining us again. And remember,
The portal is always open.
Bye.